When was the last time you felt like life was saying yes to you? Like the world was opening instead of closing in? That little flicker, that sense of possibility or unexpected grace might have been Jupiter. He shows up like that, quietly, sometimes extravagantly, but always as an invitation. Welcome, dear soul, to Jupiter 101. In this episode, we are going to take our time. We are not just listing keyword or transit date. We are weaving myth, story, and sky together, because that is how Jupiter teaches. Through the long arc, through the wide lens, through meaning. If you have ever had the sense that your life has a bigger purpose, even if you don't know what it is yet, that's Jupiter whispering. He is the part of your charts that say, let's grow. And not just materially, it is spiritually, ethnically, and soulfully. So today, we will meet Jupiter not as a concept, but as an archetype, a cosmic mentor, a flame in the dark. We will explore his mythology, his place in the sky, his relationship with Saturn and Uranus, and this is the heart of the episode. We will journey through the 12 houses, because wherever Jupiter lives in your chart, that's where life wants to go through you. Are you ready? Let's begin where all good Jupiter stories do, with a myth. Alright everyone, thank you for joining me again in Cosmic Cafe Astrology. I am Genevieve, your host. And let's go back, way back to the gods. Jupiter, as you know him, he is Zeus in the Greek mythology, and he wasn't born king. He earned it, born as the youngest son of Saturn, or Cronus. He was hidden away by his mother, because Saturn has a nasty habit of swallowing his children. Why is that? Because he feared being overthrown, just like he has done to his own father, Uranus. Let's rewind to Uranus first, because this is where it really begins. Uranus, the sky god, represents pure creation, cosmic potential. He made with Gaia, the earth, and from their union sprang the Titans. But Uranus feared his children. He was disturbed by their form and their power, so he did something unimaginable. He pushed them back into Gaia's womb, buried them in the earth. Just imagine the earth groaning with suppressed life, unable to birth her children. And of course, Gaia was furious, and so she crafted a great sickle and gave it to one of her sons, Saturn or Cronus. Saturn rose up, and in a violent act of rebellion, he castrated Uranus. From the blood of that act came new life, giants, fairies, and from the sea foam, Aphrodite, which we later relate to Venus. The world began to change. So Saturn took power. He established time, order, and structure. But he was afraid, haunted by prophecy. He was told he would be overthrown by his own child. So he did what he feared most. He consumed them, one by one, until Jupiter. Rhea, Jupiter's mother, couldn't bear to lose another child. He gave Saturn a stone wrapped in the swaddling cloth and hid her son away in a cave on the islands of Crete. There, Jupiter was raised in secret, nourished by nymph and sacred bees, protected by warrior priests who banged their shield to drown out his cries. When he came of age, Jupiter returned, not with rage, but with justice. He gave Saturn a portion that caused him to vomit up his siblings. There are Neptune, Pluto, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia. Then Jupiter led them in rebellion, overthrew Saturn, and established a new order. But here is the difference. Jupiter didn't repeat the cycle just like his father Saturn. He didn't hold power through fear. He shared it. He gave Neptune the seas, Pluto the underworld, and kept the skies for himself. This is where divine law was born, not control, but cosmic responsibility. Does this story resonate with you and in your story as well? If you have ever chosen to stop repeating a family pattern, if you have decided not to parent the way you were parented, if you have said, "It ends with me," that is Jupiter. He is the wisdom born from chaos, the trust that rises from terror, the expansion that happens after you have survived. So now, let's talk about the three of them together: Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter, not just as a myth, but as energy in the psyche. Uranus is the spark, the original download. He lives at the edge of the solar system, unpredictable, ungovernable. He is freedom, genius, and the future. But he doesn't stay to clean up the mess. He is the flash of insight, not the implementation. While Saturn is the builder, the boundary, the one who says, "That is a good idea. Now show me how you will pay for it." He is time, form, and structure, often feared, but always essential. Without him, nothing will endure. And what about Jupiter? He stands between them, the bridge, the storyteller. He says, "Let's take Uranus' vision and Saturn's structure and find the higher meaning in both." Astrologically, you will feel this tension in your own chart. For instance, if you have Jupiter conjunct Uranus, you might be wildly intuitive, a visionary, but maybe you bounce from idea to idea without even landing. With Jupiter wants to expand, Uranus wants to shock. Or if you have Jupiter square Saturn, for instance, you might wrestle with self-doubt, with earning your optimism. But Where do you believe? That faith is rock solid, lived, and proven. And mystically, these three are the story of evolution. Uranus brings possibilities. Saturn gives it form, and Jupiter gives it purpose. That's why he is the planet of teachers, mentors, and guides. He is not just interested in what works, he wants to know why it matters. In your life, dear one, Jupiter is where you learn to expand with wisdom, to grow not just for growth's sake, but to bless the world through your becoming. He is the part of you that learns from what come before, breaks what must be broken, and chooses a bigger truth. And now you have met him. Let's see where he lives in your chart. Let us take a breath here to understand what makes Jupiter strong or challenged. Because before we move into the 12 houses in the next episode, I want to offer you a deeper understanding of how Jupiter behaves in your chart. Not just where he is, but how strong his voice is, how easily he can guide you. You see, not all Jupiters are built the same. In astrology, we use a system called dignities, a kind of cosmic report card that shows us how comfortable or challenged a planet is depending on the sign it is in. So let us talk through it. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, two signs that crave meaning. When he is in either of those, he is strong, expressive, and at home. Like a wise teacher walking his own path and inspiring others to do the same. He is exalted in Cancer, which means he functions beautifully here, emotionally attuned, spiritually generous, and deeply caring. But in Gemini and Virgo, Jupiter is in his detriment. He is a bit disoriented. Too many facts, not enough wisdom. Too much analysis, not enough synthesis. And in Capricorn, he is in his fall. Still wise though, but a little compressed. He has to work harder to stay true to himself without shrinking into duty. Now, that doesn't mean a challenged Jupiter is a bad thing though. Some of the most resilient, grounded, and impactful people have Jupiter in fall or detriment. It simply means your path of expansion may come through tensions before grace. Let us add another layer to it. Jupiter's aspect tell us a lot too. Does he form a harmonious connections, such as trine and sextile, with other planets? That is a Jupiter who shares his gift freely. If he's squared or opposite by Saturn, Pluto, or Mars, he may feel blocked, tested, or inflamed, but also matured through experience. Does he aspect your node, the sun, or your moon? All these tell us how central Jupiter's story is in your life. And then there is the motion. A retrograde Jupiter, he turns inward. The journey to faith becomes an inside job. These folks often carry ancient wisdom, but might struggle with expressing it outwardly until later in life. There's often a sense that my truth is mine, and it gets revealed slowly, like a pearl. And finally, how busy is Jupiter in your chart? If Jupiter aspect many planets in your chart, he is one of the main characters in your lives. His themes will repeat. Your life will keep handing you opportunity to trust, to grow, to teach, and to believe. If he is quieter, less aspect, he may still be powerful, but more like a guide who waits for you in silence, or a teacher you must seek out. So, maybe after this episode, take a moment, pull up your chart, and ask, how does my Jupiter want to grow me? Is he loud, subtle, bold, or hesitant? Just remember, there is no wrong way to carry Jupiter. He simply asks, are you willing to say yes and to expansion? Now, here is one more thread before we step into the house by house journey. That is Jupiter's rhythm, his great cycle, the 12-year cycle and the echo of your becoming. Jupiter takes about 12 years to orbit the Sun, which means he returns to the same place in your chart once every 12 years. These are known as your Jupiter returns, spiritual growth sprouts, moments when life offers you an opportunity to say yes to expansion again. Maybe even say yes a little louder this time. So if you are curious about your own story, here is a quick check-in. Think back to this time frame. July 2001 to mid-2002. Move forward another 12 years to 2013 and mid-2014. And now we are in June 2025 onward. If Jupiter is returning to his place in your chart, what was opening for you back then? What beliefs changed? What dream was born or reborn? A Jupiter return years doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it is a quiet clarity, a widening of the path. A teacher might appear. A trip changes everything. You suddenly feel ready for more. Even if Jupiter isn't returning to your own natal sign right now, he is still moving somewhere in your chart. Somewhere is being activated, grown. The beauty of Jupiter's cycle is that it repeats, but it never really repeats the same way. It spirals. You are not back where you started. You are revisiting from a higher octave, a deeper understanding, a wiser heart. So the question becomes, are you ready to grow differently this time? So many people want to know what's coming, what will happen. Jupiter doesn't always tell you that. He asks instead, how do you want to grow? Are you ready to be a bigger vessel for grace? Are you willing to believe again, even when it has been hard? Jupiter teaches that expansion is not just outer success, it is inner spaciousness, the capacity to hold paradox, to dream widely, and to act on faith. If this resonates with you, and it may stir some memory, a yearning, or a little spark, please share this episode with someone who needs to remember the rhythm of their becoming. Join me next time when we talk about Jupiter in Cancer and the 12 houses, where the great benefic finds his exaltation, and we all remember what it means to be home, in ourselves and in each other. Please subscribe, breathe deep, and let Jupiter remind you that you are already enough, and there is so much more. If you have Jupiter in the first house, it is like being born with a torch already lit. That is Jupiter rising, a flame of becoming. There is a quality to those souls. You can feel it before they speak, a kind of spaciousness, a bigness of spirit. Even when they are quiet, there is something expansive about them, like life is working through them, not just happening to them. This is the house of identity, of fresh impressions, and how you meet the world. And when Jupiter lives here, he doesn't hide in the background. He steps in first. Then he says, "This life is an adventure, and I am the one carrying the map." In mythology, Jupiter, or Zeus, was the youngest of the gods, but he became king by choosing courage, not entitlement. He overthrew the old order to create a new one. That is the kind of imprint Jupiter in the first brings, the energy of renewed vision. These are people born to initiate, not always by force, but by presence. When he is well aspect or placed in signs like Sagittarius, Pisces, or Cancer, this Jupiter often blesses the individual with optimism, magnetism, and a sense of divine timing. They may not always know how things will work out, but they often believe they will, and that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If challenged, let's say in Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, or under tense aspect, this same largeness can become exaggerated. There may be bravado instead of confidence, or a desire to be seen, but not truly know how to. And its shadow, this placement can lean into persona over presence. But the soul path is here. It is radiant. It is about embodying faith so fully that others feel safe just by standing near you. Please watch for inflated identity, charm as a shield, or over-promising as a way to stay lovable. The spiritual message for you: you don't need to earn your right to take up space. You are the flame. You are the blessing. Start with being. Practice presence in your body, walking, dancing, grounding through your senses. Or with journal, who am I when I don't perform? Surround yourself with those who reflect your truth back to you, not just your potential. Jupiter in the second house brings the expansion of self through value. Here he is in the temple of worth. And I don't just mean income, though that may certainly be part of it. This is about worth, the kind you can spend and the kind you can't. In mythology, After Jupiter overthrew Saturn, he distributed realms. He didn't hoard them. The skies for himself, the seas to Neptune, and the underworld to Pluto. He understood the value of sharing power, of investing in cosmic balance. That is the deeper wisdom of this placement. Abundance is not accumulation, it is circulation. These people are often gifted at attracting resources, or at least deeply drawn to the questions of security. What do I need to feel safe? What am I willing to give to receive that? When strong in Cancer, Sagittarius, or Pisces, this Jupiter knows how to build wealth that supports soul. These are the ones who say yes to investing in education, in healing, in spaces that make life feel rich. When challenged, such as in Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, they may be struggles with undercharging, overgiving, or trying self-worth to financial outputs. Sometimes they give too much. Sometimes they hold too tightly. And the lessons? Your value isn't in what you earn, it is in how you embody enoughness. Watch out for financial overreach, scarcity shame, hoarding, or under-earning to stay safe. The spiritual message for you is you are your first and finest resources. When you trust your worth, the world reflects it. Trying to embody it by creating a ritual for receiving, such as gifts, money, and compliments as well, without deflecting them. Reflect on the question, what do I really believe I am worth? Let spending become a spiritual act, and saving become a self-honoring one. If you have Jupiter land in your third house, your mind becomes a pilgrimage. He is the messenger's mantle. Your words are ministry. This is the domain of communication, early education, storytelling, and the familiar world with your siblings, neighbors, short journeys. And Jupiter here is saying, let's make meaning out of every day. In the myth, Jupiter was not only a sky god, he was a lawgiver, a speaker of truth, and a waver of cosmic order. His voice held divine authority, and with this placement, so can yours. You may be someone who naturally speaks in metaphors, who need language like others need air. But this isn't just about chatty, it is about the search for the deeper thread. You don't just talk, you translate experience into insight, chaos into clarity. When he is strong, such as in Sagittarius, Pisces, or Cancer, this Jupiter brings a love for learning, teaching, and storytelling that uplifts. Your words can carry people. You can be a bridge between people, between ideas, and heart and mind. But when he is challenged, like in Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, the mind may race ahead of the heart. You may use words to hide instead of reveal, or struggle with mental restlessness, trying to speak your way into safety. But the soul invitation is here to speak like a priestess, not a performer, to let your voice be a river, not a mask. Watch out for talking over silence, chronic multitasking, or speaking without listening. The spiritual message for you is your voice is sacred. Your stories are spells. Speak to connect, not to convince. You may try to create a morning journaling or voice note ritual. Let your mind empty into sacred space, or to explore sacred speech such as mantra, blessings, affirmation, or prayer. You can also ask, am I using words to reveal or to avoid certain issues? If Jupiter takes up residence in your fourth house, the soil of your life becomes fertile with meaning. Here he is in the temple of root. This is the realm of origin stories, your childhood, ancestral memory, your home and inner emotional safety. And Jupiter, here he is saying, this isn't just your home, it is your sanctuary. Make it sacred. In myth, Jupiter was born into chaos, hidden by his mother to escape being devoured by his father Saturn. He grew up in a cave, nourished by divine beasts and protected by priest warriors who drowned out his cries. That early concealment shaped his destiny. When he returned, he didn't just overthrow Saturn, he created a new home for the gods, Mount Olympus. So too, when you carry Jupiter in your fourth house, there is a spiritual calling to transform your home into a heaven. You might have grown up in a large or belief-centered family, or perhaps in emotional scarcity, and your soul is saying, let's change the story. With a strong Jupiter, such as in Cancer, Pisces, or Sagittarius, you might have an intuitive sense of place and emotional legacy. Home for you isn't just a structure, it is a sacred space. You may move often, but wherever you land becomes imbued with purposes. Your kitchen becomes a prayer, and your bedroom becomes an altar of rest. But when Jupiter is challenged, such as in Capricorn, Gemini, or Virgo, the journey may involve emotional repair. You may carry ancestral burdens or find it hard to feel safe in your own body. But Jupiter will invite you again and again to grow a new root system, one that's watered by tenderness, not trauma. This placement also signals a karmic mission around family. You might be the emotional anchor, or truth teller, or the one who breaks a generation cycle by choosing softness over silence. You may be drawn to genealogy, ancestral healing, or literally building a home that holds community. But please watch out for over-identifying with family roles, emotional codependency, or idealizing the past. The spiritual message for you is you are not just from your lineage, you are the next evolution of it. Let the past nourish you, but don't let it trap you. You can embody this by creating a home rituals that center emotional peace, such as meals, candles, music, quiet corners, or tend to ancestral healing. Journal to your lineage, set altars, reclaim lost names. You can also practice coming home to yourself before trying to create it for anyone else. With Jupiter in the fifth house, your life is blessed with the medicine of joy, and not the shallow kind. This is the century of joy itself. And this joy that rises from within, that heals when it flows freely, that teaches others how to live with more heart. This house rules creativity, romance, play, children, and all expressions of the inner child. And Jupiter here is saying, pleasure is a path to the divine. In mythology, Jupiter was not only the bringer of law, he was also a prolific lover and creator. His children were not just gods, they were lineages, stories, symbols. He gave form to passion. His affairs, for better or worse, reshaped the mystic landscape. Similarly, when Jupiter lights up this house in your chart, your passions have power. What you create, who you love, and what you risk feeling, it echoes beyond you. If Jupiter is strong, such as in Leo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, your artistic gift can be radiant. You may express yourself with warmth, boldness, or theatrical flair. You may be naturally magnetic, a born performer, a playful spirit who makes others feel alive simply by being yourself. And if Jupiter is challenged in Capricorn, Virgo, or Gemini, the path may twist through insecurity, creativities tied to external validation, or joy bound to productivity. You might silence your own brilliance to avoid being too much, but that too becomes your initiation. You are here to reclaim joy, not as reward, but as birthright. This placement may also bless or challenge your journey with children, literal or metaphorical. You may become a guide for your souls, or birth books, ideas, projects that carry your essence. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So what are you creating with your energy? Please watch out for seeking attention over authenticity, or fearing rejection of your true voice, overindulgence or burnout in pursuing fun. The spiritual message for you is your creativity is not selfish. It is soul food for you and for the world. When you honor your joy, you bless us all. You can rekindle what lit you up as a child, such as painting, dancing, playing, even if no one sees it. Try to practice creativity without outcome, expectation. Let it be messy, raw, and real. And to affirm, my joy is holy and my expression is sacred. When Jupiter lands in your sixth house, your daily life becomes a sacred path. This is the temple of devotion. In this house of work, health, service, and routines, Jupiter, here he is saying, your life is your altar. In mythology, even though Jupiter ruled from the height of Olympus, his authority was not detached from duty. He upheld divine order, protected the innocent, and ensured the sacred contract between God and mortals were honored. His leadership wasn't about control, it was about coherence. And so, when you move through the sixth house, he brings a call to sacred structure. This is where meaning meets method, and the mundane becomes mystical. You might feel drawn to healing professions, holistic practices, or simply being a service to others in ways that uplift. When Jupiter is strong, such as in Sagittarius, Pisces, or Cancer, there is a natural generosity in your daily offering. People may come to you for care, console, or guidance, even without knowing why. But when Jupiter is challenged, such as in Capricorn, Gemini, or Virgo, the expansion can go sideways. You might overdo, overcommit, believe you must earn your worth by fixing others. You might resist structure altogether, spiritualizing chaos instead of containing it. The deep lessons is devotion is different from depletion. Your rituals, your wellness and work, they are all opportunities to remember the sacred in the simple. This placement often call you to restore right relationship with the body, to see your digestion, your breath, your heartbeat at sight of worships. Jupiter, he is saying, tend to the temple, and the temple will teach you everything. Watch out for overfunctioning, matron tendency, burnout disguised as service, or neglecting your own health while helping others. The spiritual message for you is you don't have to save the world to serve it. Begin by honoring your own body, your rhythm, and your own sacred yes. Embody them by anchoring your day with intention. Get up, eat, rest with reverence. Work, be guided, be meaningful, not just productivity. Create rituals of restoration through breathwork, herbal infusions, or loving boundaries. When Jupiter takes his place in the seventh house, it is the invitation to learn through love. Here he is the mirror of the other, the house of relationships, of marriage, partnership, soul contract, and sacred mirrors. Jupiter acts like a cosmic bridge, leading you toward deeper wisdom through the bonds you form. In mythology, Jupiter was known for his many unions, some consensual, some mythologically troubling, but always transformative. Each relationship, for better or worse, brought change, brought consequences, and creation. In the seventh house, Jupiter reminds us relationships aren't just about comfort, they are about expansion. If Jupiter is well placed, such as Libra, Sagittarius, or Pisces, you might attract wise, generous partners, teachers in disguise, lovers who encourage you to grow into the fullness of your being. There's often a sense that partnership is part of your spiritual path. But when Jupiter is challenged, such as in Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, the lessons may come through imbalance. You might give too much, lose yourself, over-idolize someone until really crack the illusion, or expect your partner to carry your growth for you. What are the soul work here, actually? It is to see others clearly, not as a savior, but as sacred reflections, to honor the covenant of mutual becoming, and to let love be a teacher, not a trap. This placement can also expand your ability to meditate, guide, or serve as a wise counselor to others in relationship. Jupiter gives you a sense of fairness, a belief in cooperation. But remember, harmony isn't about silence, it is about honesty. Watch out for codependency masked as commitment, spiritual bypassing of conflict, or inflated expectations of partners. The spiritual message for you is love is not here to complete you. It is here to grow you, and the right partnership will always call your soul forward. Practice mirroring. Notice what triggers you in others, what it reveals about your growth, or create rituals of reflection in partnership, such as shared journaling, truth speaking, or renewal of vows. Ask, what am I learning about myself through this connection? When Jupiter enters the 8th house, the soul descends, not to stay in the dark, but to bring light. This is the chamber of alchemy. This house governs intimacy, death, and rebirth, share resources, psychological healing, and all that lives behind the veil. And Jupiter, he is saying, your power lives in what you are willing to transform. The 8th house is where we are initiated, through loss, through union, through the merging of energy with another. Jupiter in this house suggests your growth will not always come through ease, but through surrender, through letting go of what no longer serves, and letting in what can truly support. In myth, Jupiter wasn't afraid of the underworld. He shared dominion with his brothers, giving Pluto the realm of death, and Neptune the seas, and keeping the sky for himself. He respected power. He didn't try to hoard it. And that's the medicine of this placement. The realization that power shared becomes sacred. When Jupiter is strong, especially in Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, you might be naturally gifted at navigating depths. You can hold space for others in crisis, sense emotional undercurrents, and even become a healer, therapist, or spiritual guide. Your presence carries weight. But when he is challenged, such as Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, you might fear vulnerability or confuse intensity with intimacy. You might cling to control to avoid being consumed. But Jupiter will nurture you again and again to surrender, to trust, to let life remake you. This placement often brings lessons around money shared with others, such as inheritance, debts, or partnerships. But at its core, it is asking, how much are you willing to receive? And how much are you willing to reveal? Please watch out for power struggles in intimacy, over identifying with trauma, or spiritualizing avoidance of grief. Your spiritual message is deepest wound, hold your greatest wisdom. Let transformation be sacred, not shameful. You can create rituals for letting go, burn letters, release old energies, speak your truth aloud, or to practice intimacy as a spiritual path, honest, vulnerable, and slow. You can also study or seek therapeutic healing that honor your depths, the shadow work, ancestral healing, and sacred sexuality. If you have Jupiter in your ninth house, it's like coming home to himself. This is his pilgrim's horizon. This is the house he naturally rules, of philosophy, higher learning, long journeys, faith, and the quest for meaning. When he arrives here in your chart, he speaks with clarity. Your truth is meant to grow, evolve, and be shared. In mythology, Jupiter wasn't a stationary god. He moved between heavens and earth, through disguises, into councils of wisdom. He was a ruler, yes, but also a wanderer, a seeker, a scholar. The ninth house holds the same flame, the eternal student who becomes the teacher. When well placed, especially in Sagittarius, Pisces, or Cancer, this Jupiter brings a lifelong hunger for understanding. You may travel far geographically, intellectually, or spiritually. You are not satisfied with surface answers. You want to know, and not just fact, but truth. And then, because this is Jupiter, you will feel compelled to share it. This is the signature of the philosopher, the guide, the mentor, someone who inspires others, not by preaching, but by living what they believe. When challenged in Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, the path may involve crises of faith or moments of dogma where belief hardens instead of expands. You may bounce between worldview or cling to a system that feels safe even when your soul's outgrown it. But Jupiter will keep inviting you to trust your own synthesis, to gather wisdom from many sources and that make it your own. This placement often signals spiritual teachers, thought leaders, and deep seekers of truth. But it also reminds you your greatest temple is experience. Watch out for escapism in the name of truth, bypassing emotional work for abstract philosophies, or expecting others to follow your path. Your spiritual message, truth, is not a destination. It is a relationship. Let it evolve with you. You can even travel with a journal. Record it, not just where you go, but how it changed you. Study something spiritual, philosophical, or mystical, then teach it through your life. Your affirmation, my path is my message. My journey is my offering. When Jupiter ascends into your 10th house, he climbs with intention. This Jupiter on the mountain of purpose, the house of vocation, visibility, public life, and legacy. And Jupiter here doesn't just ask what you are doing, he asks, what does it matter? This house governs how the world sees you, your impact, authority. And when Jupiter stands at the peak of your chart, he brings expansion to your mission. Your calling isn't small, and neither is the audience it's meant to reach. In myth, Jupiter was not a solitary figure on the throne. He ruled by uniting realms. After overthrowing Saturn, he distributed power to his brothers and sisters. He delegated divinity. He governed with law and vision, and that's the wisdom he brings here. True leadership uplifts others. True purposes serves more than ego. When he is strong, such as in Sagittarius, Pisces, Leo, or Cancer, this placement brings the potential for meaningful success, recognition for your wisdom. You may lead through education, law, spirituality, or even entertainment. You may be called to roles where visibility matters, but so does integrity. But when he is challenged in Virgo, Gemini, or Capricorn, the growth edge might come through over-identification with achievement, the pressure to succeed, or the fear of being seen, confusing your value with your title. But Jupiter reminds you that your real legacy is how your work touches lives, not just your resume, but your ripple. Watch out for career burnout, performance anxiety, chasing success without alignment, or downplaying your gift to avoid judgment. The spiritual message for you is you are here to lead with heart, not to impress, but to inspire. Your work is sacred when it flows from soul. You can try to embody that by defining success for yourself. Then design a life that honors it. You should ask, if no one clapped, would I still do this work? Speak your purpose aloud. Let others hear what matters most to you. Jupiter in the 11th house is the visionary blessing. He is in the constellation of vision. This is the house of future dreams, social movements, friendships, and community. And when Jupiter lights this part of your chart, he whispers, your dreams is not just for you. It is for the world you help shape. This house hosts the great networks, the webs, so you wave with others who share ideas. When Jupiter is here, your soul wants to belong not just in intimate circles, but in a collective evolution. There is a longing to contribute, to see change, to believe in the power of shared intention. In myth, Jupiter wasn't just a sky god, he was a lawgiver, a bringer of cosmic justice, And this house echoes that impulse to participate in something larger than personal gain, whether through activism, innovation, teaching, or communal ritual. You are here to help the future unfold in a more expansive way. When Jupiter is strong, such as in Aquarius, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Cancer, this placement blesses you with allies, mentors, or influential connections that help you grow. You may find yourself moving through powerful networks or becoming a source of inspiration within them. When he is challenged, such as in Capricorn, Gemini, or Virgo, they may be wounds around belongings. Perhaps you have felt like the outsider, or you have betrayed yourself to fit in. Jupiter will nudge you gently and sometimes forcefully towards cycles that reflect your values, not your fears. This is also the house of hope. Jupiter here revives it, even when the world feels bleak. You carry an optimism that can galvanize others, but only if you allow your voice to be heard. Please watch out for hiding in collectives, confusing group identity for personal purpose, or projecting ideas onto community that can't carry them. The spiritual message is your dreams matter, but they are meant to be shared. Your vision is part of the future's unfolding. You can speak your dream aloud in a trusted cycle. Let others reflect it back to you, or join or build community with shared values, not just shared goals. Practice collective ritual like vision boards, gatherings, or shared intentions. When Jupiter entered the 12th house, he disappeared into mystery, but not to be lost. He is the sacred unseen. He goes inward to expand what cannot be seen with the eyes. This is the house of dreams, solitude, the subconscious, past lives, divine union, and Jupiter here speaks in whisper. Trust the invisible. In mythology, Jupiter was not unfamiliar with withdrawal. Though his power was visible, his wisdom often came from listening to oracles, to signs, and silence. The 12th house carries that same frequency, a place where the material world falls away and the soul tunes into something older than time. This placement often signals a deep inner life. You may be highly intuitive, drawn to mysticism, dream work, or spiritual solitude. When Jupiter is strong, especially in Pisces, Cancer, or Sagittarius, you may carry a quiet sense of divine protection. Your dreams are luminous, your compassion oceanic. You may not always understand why, but you know things, and you may feel most alive in the stillness. But when Jupiter is challenged in Gemini, Virgo, or Capricorn, this expansion can overwhelm. You may escape into fantasy or drawn in the feelings of others. Boundaries may blur, spiritual bypass can hide all pain. Jupiter here teaches the subtle path, the path of surrender, of letting life speak not through doing, but through being. He invites you to rest, to retreat, to trust what unfolds behind closed eyes. This house also governs karma, forgiveness, and soul memory. Jupiter's presence may suggest that your growth will come from healing the unseen, ancestral grief, spiritual contracts, or patterns you have carried across lifetime. Watch for escapism disguised as enlightenment, isolation from fear rather than from healing, or denying your gift to stay hidden. Your spiritual message, the divine, is not always loud. Sometimes it comes in the softest breath, the gentlest dream, the silenced knowing. Try to create quiet time daily. Dream journaling, meditation, ocean walks, or silence prayer. Work with a spiritual mentor or therapist who honors mystery as much as meaning. Your affirmation, my soul remembers. My stillness is enough.